So my wife, when we were coming back from Europe, she's at the front of the plane because that's where all the princesses go.
Sure.
She was super annoyed because she was on, United flights over to Europe and back. And on 3 of her 4 flights, they would say, ma'am, would you like dessert? And she said, well, what do you have? And they said, well, we have a hot fudge sundae.
They always do. Yeah.
And she said, oh, well, I'll have that. I'd love the hot fudge sundae. She was pissed. And I was like, well, why? She goes, because they brought me fucking ice cream with hot chocolate syrup. She's like, it's not hot fudge. I want hot fudge. And she was angry about this. I'm like, you realize
they just misnamed the dessert?
You're on a fucking airplane, right? Yeah. Like, can you just take the chocolate sauce? She's like, it's not hot fudge. Don't call it hot fudge. And then she was very grumpy.
Well, they're lying to her. She was
extremely grumpy that it wasn't hot. And then I had to hear about it. So, of course, you know what I did, right?
What?
I was like, well, I'll make you a hot fudge sundae.
How nice.
And we have beautiful fudge from Saunders, which is from Detroit, where I grew up.
Sure.
And I made her 2 scoops of ice cream, and then I put Hershey syrup on it just to fuck with her and gave it to her.
Nice.
And then she was pissed, and I had to eat that and then make her another one with actual hot fudge.
Quiet, please.
So, anyway.
And that's why you're leaving here to go to divorce court.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm being served with paperwork as we speak.
2.
The Awful Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense, episode number 33. I'm Jeff Parker.
And I'm Jiddle.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, we'll look at nothing but headlines.
My favorite parts.
Ideally, stories that aren't getting a ton of attention elsewhere. Because who wants to slave over a hot mic in August?
Not me.
It's National Black Cat Appreciation Day.
What about the other cats?
This is just the black cat.
Just the black cats?
Appreciating that we are saying down with superstitions everywhere. That's what this day is all about.
Is there a National Calico Cat Day?
Black cats are the ones who get the bad rap.
But they get all the good attention.
Don't ever have a black cat walk in front of you, or certainly don't have any black cats with you when you walk under ladders or whatever the thing is. I don't even know.
Don't carry a black cat while you're breaking a mirror under a ladder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't pay close attention in superstition class.
You just know that black cats are in there somewhere.
Yes. So we need to appreciate black cats because they got a bad rap.
But the black cats get all the parts in the movies. Most movies, you have a black cat.
They turn into witches?
Well, they use the black cats for the same reasons. You don't get like a calico cat or a
What's a movie that has a black cat in it?
Cats.
The movie Cats?
I assume. No?
I never saw that movie. Did you see that movie?
No, but it's people.
I was not a big fan of the Broadway musical. Did you see the
Cats?
Broadway musical?
I never saw it. If it was very similar but dogs, I assume you would love it.
Oh, that'd be the greatest show on earth. Yeah, no, I totally get dogs.
Just give all the Tonys to the dogs. I've never seen Cats, the musical, but is it, if it's true to like life, do they just sleep half the time? Like they just actors
then
in
wake
balls?
Up and bolt from one room to another, totally. And then look around like, why did I come in here?
Yeah, totally. And then chase a laser. Is it just like everybody in the audience gets laser pointers and you're just
oh my God, now I would go to that show. I would go to that version of the show.
Just laser pointers around?
Yeah.
True story. When this is definitely gave me a visit from CPS. When my oldest son was just starting to crawl, I had a laser measurer. You measure a room.
Sure.
And we had just bought the house that we were in, and I was measuring out some of the rooms, and he saw the laser and started chasing it.
Of course he did.
For at least 20 minutes, I had him walking around the house. I think I have a video of it, moving the laser pointer, and he was just like going
trying
for it.
to touch
and I'm
it.
like,
Sure.
Well, he's getting exercise.
Just light, kid. Sorry.
Yep.
Eventually, you'll figure it out. It is also National Nonprofit Day. We're celebrating people who have put together nonprofits and the wonderful nonprofits and the wonderful work they do.
So like nonprofits on purpose, not like businesses that you start.
Not failed businesses.
Okay.
No.
That would like National Failed Business Day. That'd be a great day for me. I'd circle it on my calendar.
There are plenty of good nonprofits out in the world who do great work, and can I recommend the World Wildlife Foundation?
Yes, of course.
This is a fantastic
pro-animal.
Yeah, this is a fantastic organization worthy of our support.
Where are they based?
Switzerland.
We need more of those. We need more wildlife. I feel like we're running out.
How's your week going?
It's good. It's still hot. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
We did some camping with the kids.
Where'd you go?
We went into the sequoias because I love the sequoias.
Yes.
Lived in California for 20 plus years.
And there's just nothing more beautiful than the
Never
sequoias,
spent time in
right?
the sequoias. Now it's the only place I want to go.
It's incredible. It's
gorgeous.
absolutely just mind-blowing.
And for the most part, the places I go are basically empty.
It is one of those things that lives up to the hype of how great it is.
100%.
Very few things in life do that. The sequoias, I think, really
They're
do.
incredible.
Yeah.
Just to be up in the hills, up at elevation, it's lovely. Brought back the same number of kids that I brought there.
Always a win. Always a win.
I think it's the same kids. I do tell the children that if you see a bear, run faster than your brother. There are black bears up there.
Oh, okay.
Real black bears. I mean,
Yeah,
bear
sure.
box stuff. Like I do a pretty good job. They're black bears. They don't really fuck with you, but they're still bears.
They will as there becomes more and more heat and less water for them and less food for them. Then they definitely will.
Yeah, I just offer them beer and they come over and hang out at the campfire.
Great.
How about you?
You're a very thoughtful person.
well, hey, would you rather have a beer friendly, drinking a beer with you, or not? Let's talk about how dumb I am. A couple weeks ago, I think I talked about on the show, I miscalculated a new cook on my barbecue. So I was up at 1 a.m. taking them off the grill.
Yeah.
As I'm taking them off, I have 2 raccoons that live in one of the trees in my house.
Okay.
Raccoons come down, they just stare at me.
Sure.
And I was like, you know what? You're super cute little
and
trash pandas.
And they're not afraid.
No, they're not afraid at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're super cute little trash pandas. So I'm going to give you
trash
like
pandas.
This is just so damn cute.
Sure.
And so I took a little piece of these beef ribs that I had been making for 14 fucking hours, and I took a piece of the meat and I put it up on and this was like, these were prime cut.
Yeah, sure.
Like these things were basically like
quality food you're giving them.
$15 a rib, and I pulled them off, and I gave them a little piece, and as I'm doing, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like these things would eat.
They're going to eat your garbage. They're waiting for you to get out of the way so they can go through your garbage.
And I was like, when did I put it out? I was like, well, I kind of feel bad not giving it to them. They watch me take them off the grill. And like I was walking inside just going, what kind of moron gives prime short rib that I smoked for 14 hours to a fucking raccoon?
Well, now you've got gourmet raccoons who are going to start expecting it. They've got, they don't want stuff from the trash can anymore.
They leave me little notes that say, can we get a 7 p.m. booking for 2?
Exactly.
And we'd like a little less salt on the ribs.
That was bound to happen. Oh, now they're concerned about their hearts.
They are. They're a little concerned about hypertension.
Their health.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you could put a little salt in the trash too, we'd appreciate that for later. So yeah, Chasen's table for 2 in my backyard.
That's awesome.
Anyway, how about you? What have you done?
This is crazy. A friend of mine had to have an emergency appendectomy. Like he had 0 to 100 miles an hour in very short amount of time of no problems to lots of problems.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
And so raced into the hospital, had to have surgery. And all as well. My only thought about this entire thing is, wow, modern medicine.
Yeah.
Wow.
They going through his belly button? Where are they going to get it?
I didn't watch the surgery. I didn't actually go.
You ask questions.
No, I don't. I'm good.
There's no like appendix access hole?
But I have no idea how they did it. You go ask somebody who's a doctor. The cool thing is, man, doctors are great these days.
Sure.
Man, modern medicine is absolutely mind blowing. And he was in such incredible pain.
Yeah.
Like I can't even begin to describe you how much pain he was in.
Yeah.
And then like an hour later, he was not at all.
That's amazing.
Not because of the surgery, because of the painkiller. But they still had to take out the appendix.
A week later.
No, like right away.
How was he out? Was it outpatient?
Well, he was out the next day by probably. The surgery happened. First of all, they did this appendectomy at 12:30 at night.
Yeah, sure.
There were doctors available who would come in and do this surgery in the middle of the night.
Totally.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he was out by like 2 or 3 the next.
Crazy.
Day. Yeah. Let's get to our headlines.
We should.
Apple is cracking down on fingerprinting with new App Store API rules.
They basically want you, they being Apple, want you to disclose as an app developer what APIs you're talking to and why.
Specific ones that actually let them fingerprint your phone or whatever. Yeah. Fingerprinting, just for those who don't know, it's a way of identifying your unique phone. So we know who you are. And websites do it all the time so that they can have, without necessarily even cookies, they can know precisely who are you that's visiting them.
Yeah. So like when I download that app that says free checks and it pops up and says, what is your social security number? I probably shouldn't put that in.
Maybe not. Maybe I'd pass on that. Yeah. Nice that Apple, I think, is doing this, although they could have probably done it a zillion years ago. Also, nothing is keeping them from knowing who you are.
Sure.
Apple gets to know exactly who you are.
Through and through.
Personally, I think the solution to this, though, is there needs to be just a switch somewhere in your settings that says fingerprinting yes or fingerprinting no.
Yeah.
And if you select fingerprinting no, when you query basic information, it gives you the wrong answer.
Sure.
It just spits out random and not even the same answer twice.
Sure.
It just spits
Obfuscation
out
mode.
Right. Just spits out bad information.
Sure.
What number browser are you using?
No fingers.
Yeah, exactly. How many fonts do you have? Whatever. And it just makes things up.
They should call it woodshop teacher mode.
Why woodshop teacher mode?
No fingerprints. Lost them all.
Oh, that's horrible.
Or, better reference, Remo Williams mode.
Why Remo Williams?
Remo Williams had all his fingerprints.
I never saw that movie.
You never saw that movie? It was a terrible film, but it stuck with me for a long time.
I'm sure it would.
For more esoteric references, please subscribe to my newsletter.
This is a good thing that Apple is doing this. I think it doesn't go far enough. I think they should give it just that one more step.
Yeah.
U.S. spies are lobbying Congress to save a phone surveillance loophole.
So,
by U.S. spies, we all know we're talking about the NSA.
Of course.
Yeah.
My favorite 3-letter acronym.
NSA?
The NSA.
Used to be when you would go to DEF CON.
Sure.
There would be a couple of NSA people there, and you kind of could, there were like t-shirts, spot the NSA person.
Spot
it was like a spot the Fed, right? It was a game. Yeah. Now, I think when you go to DEF CON, it's half of the feds. I mean, they literally come to DEF CON to recruit.
Yeah, sure. Good place to recruit.
It's so different now. Things have changed so much.
Unfortunately, I missed it this year, but did want to go. We'll have to go soon.
This is a law that the lawmakers are putting together to prevent government agencies from domestically tracking citizens without a search warrant.
Yeah.
The law is facing opposition from the NSA because the NSA would like to be able to track U.S. citizens without a search warrant.
Sure. I think the word you're looking for there is continue to track without a search warrant.
Correct. It also would keep them from buying information from data brokers.
That part seems a little odd to me. Like if it's publicly available, they should be able to buy it.
Right.
So if you don't want them to be able to buy it, maybe it shouldn't be publicly available. Now, this bill has a great name. What's the name of this thing? It's like the Don't Tread on My Fourth Amendment bill.
Fourth Amendment is not for sale act.
Yeah, Fourth Amendment is not for sale act. I understand the gist of this. Yes, I do think you should have due process. That should not go away. But I also think if it's out there in the ether, why shouldn't the government be able to buy it? What's another example where they can't do that? Like it's publicly available and you can't use it?
No, I'm not generally down with the government even spending money to get domestic citizens' data. I mean, the government should not be spying wholesale on domestic citizens. That's a little crazy. And buying data, spending taxpayer money to buy that data is no better.
Sure.
Now you're just encouraging that data to be collected because you're spending money on it. And they are the biggest customer of consumer data in the world.
If it works, I like no better if it works, but it's this chicken and egg problem. You can't really tell people if it works because then tell them it works and you tell them how, then they work around
I don't think we have any cases of it actually working, of knowing of it actually working. You would think if we had a case, they would trumpet that heavily so that they could continue doing it.
But it seems like every time you get many times when there's a bust of something before something really terrible happens, like it came from somewhere. It's not.
But it always seems like you can get that stuff from standard policing anyway. This guy's sister warns you that he's going to carry a bomb onto the blobbity blue, whatever. Yeah. That kind of thing does happen. Yeah. And it has always happened even before we could do wholesale mass surveillance. Ultra-fast neoprene batteries boast 6-minute charge for Lotus Elise-based EV.
This is super cool.
First of all, Lotus Elise is making an EV. How cool is that?
Well,
they used to just be called the Tesla.
Yeah, well, no.
The Roadster.
First of all, Lotus is fucked like they always are. They're back in teetering on receivership.
Always.
Yeah. There's no company I have followed in my life that is on more of a roller coaster ride than Lotus.
Yeah.
They're constantly
They
having
make
issues.
cool cars. The cars are really cool.
They got to get back to it.
Cool looking.
Now they have a fucking SUV that Geely released that's just like, really?
Why? Because everybody's buying SUVs.
Of course.
But I'm not going to get into the Lotus Elise at my age. Are you kidding?
Yeah, you can.
I know I can, but what a pain.
We'll get you one of those hoists.
Exactly. It's just too low. I'm not doing it.
So these are some guys in the UK that are taking Elises, they're actually taking Exeges.
Aftermarket.
Yeah, and they're extending, I think, the rear subframe and putting some more batteries in them. The whole point is to test the charge cycle on these batteries, and they wanted a very light car, which is why Tesla made their first Roadster, which is an Elise tub with a modified rear end.
Yeah.
And we have a whole lot of Lotus Elise owners that listen to this show, so I'm sure they're going to send me texts.
You're going to get a lot of texts.
Fucking 6:30 in the morning.
But the battery part of this is cool. 6-minute charge time is really cool. I mean, I love that batteries are potentially advanced. This is kind of an experiment. It's not far enough along that we can say this is.
I want to know more about the heat. What kind of heat that thing generates. When you look at the charge rates that are possible through the various connectors, the CCS and the NECS, man, you can put a lot of juice through that thing, which is great if you know what to do with it, right? If you can figure out what to do with it. I mean, and I should say, it's not really great. It's great and petrifying at the same time.
Why is it petrifying?
That is a lot of juice going through the thing your hand gets pretty close to.
Your hand gets close to the battery?
Well, no, your hand gets close to the connector when you charge
it. Connector, yeah, of course.
I mean, there's lots of fail safes in there. Like I feel safe around it, but holy crap, it's a lot of power.
Our dream is 10 miles per kilowatt.
That's a less sexually exciting dream than I normally have. But okay.
That's going to require a special kind of built car.
9.8 miles per kilowatt. So close. So close.
All right, that's our headlines. We have to get out of here now, but quickly before we do, have you seen or read anything good this last week?
Oh, no. I was in the woods.
That's your last week experience. That's not a bad thing to see. The sequoias are pretty spectacular.
I would strongly recommend anybody that lives within 10 hours of California to go spend a couple days in the woods with your family. It's amazing.
Not hot?
I was at super high elevation. It was lovely. We had to put on like shirts with sleeves at night. Anyway, go look at the sequoias. They're amazing. Beautiful groves, giant trees.
Highly recommended. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. How about you?
The Beanie Bubble stars Zach Galifianakis, Elizabeth Banks, and Sarah Snook. Ty Warner was a frustrated toy salesman until his collaboration with 3 women grew his idea into the biggest toy craze in history. Kind of a lightweight story, but what a cast, and it's great fun.
And this is
on Apple TV.
Of course, because that's the only thing you plug on this show. Is that like the Beanie Baby story?
That is the Beanie Baby story. Yeah.
Is it rooted in like reality?
100%.
No way. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna go watch this right now.
It's such a crazy story.
It sounds amazing.
And they just managed to make this into like literally a bubble where people were bidding crazy amounts of money for these silly little stupid toys.
Limited run, limited inventory.
They weren't that limited.
They're going to appreciate. I know that's
a lot of that limited thing was overhyped.
Yeah, of course. We only made 800,000 of them, of this one with a special flag.
Quite limited.
Shameful to admit that on more than one occasion they did have to to go hunting, sometimes in various countries for Beanie Babies for my mother. She was not deep in the craze, but she was definitely in the craze.
She was into it, yeah.
Yeah.
She had a big collection.
I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm buying the stupid one blue bear that you can't get somewhere. Like, people bought into it, man. It was like stamp collecting.
She wasn't buying them for investment purposes.
I gotta believe in the back of her brain, she was, I'm gonna sell these one day. I'm like, yes, for $1.
This is, yeah, exactly.
All of them, not each.
This is going to pay for my grandkids' college education.
No, definitely was not that. I'll definitely check that out. I'm super into the Beanie Baby history.
That's the episode.
Thank you for joining us for all of this nonsense, a truly terrible podcast from The Awful Company. Visit us on the web at nonsense.productions. I'm Stu Little.
I'm Jeff Parker.
If you like this program, please follow, download, subscribe, and like at Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, our favorite Overcast, or wherever you get your podcast from.
Podcastindex.org. Special thanks to our floor director, Kathy Warwick.
Thank you, Kathy. We'll be back next Thursday morning with a full episode. Please join us.
It's cool to get adopted by two really smart people.
Yeah.
I mean, she won the lottery. Cool.